what we found was that Laxey doesn't currently have a central heart where people can meet, sort of congregate and orientate themselves to go and enjoy these attractions within the village.
Well, the Met Office are predicting incredibly high waves again today on the island. We're down here at Guernsey and we're still about half an hour away from the actual high tide, but already everyone's getting quite a soaking, including us.
We hope it'll work over here. It's worked across. They had a 40% reduction in dog fouling in the specific areas. We're in one area of 3 that we're going to trial this.
Well, Beach Buddy started with 2 volunteers, 2006 as you say, and now in 2015 I've got 4,000 different names on our volunteer list.
As the ship was coming into the harbour, something went wrong. There's various reports it might be fishing nets. We're not sure yet, but certainly divers are now down. It seems to have obviously lost some sort of control. There's some pictures on social media showing where it is now, and it seems like there is a little fishing vessel possibly trapped where the Benmacree is being tied up to.
From Friday night through till there was 2 more reported yesterday. We've had about 13 burglaries reported sort of around the island in Douglas and the south of the island and also the west of the island.
Potentially, because it's being marketed, 2 of the sites around here could be sold. We have the Sefton site opposite us. We've got the Cambrian Place site behind us where Douglas Council was going to build a new car park and library, and so this whole area of Douglas is going to be transformed.
We've converted that old luggage wagon into a fully functional kitchen where we've got cooking on and we can cook for 70 people.
A lot of people just know it from outside of here how the road's been shrunk for some time.
Yeah.
And the one question, let's do that one straight away, is when will it all be finished?
Well, we're hoping towards the end of this year.
Frankly, government is too top-heavy, it's too big, it's too departmentalised and it's too siloed.
The timing of this, not so much the principle behind why he's done it, but his timing is just disgraceful.
Acting in consultation with the Chief Minister, I made the decision that I would offer the appointment to my colleague John Shimon. I'm delighted to say that John has accepted.
The people here want both our elected members to stand up and explain what it is about the post office that they can't support or they can support. We are determined that the post office, the Courthouse Post Office, will retain its presence here, and we wish our members to stand with us.
What's happening is that people are getting snippets of information, posting them on social media, especially Facebook, and what is tantamount to mass hysteria is breaking out.
We're going to put on a cycling festival, but it's much more than just a cycling festival. So we will do cycling really well, professional cycling, amateur cycling, cycling for fun, but it will actually be a lifestyle festival built around that.
So many sports in the Isle of Man. We've got people who are world champions, Olympic champions, medalists at Commonwealth Games, British champions, and it's getting that message out there that we've got such a wealth of success and sporting talent, and it should be something that's really celebrated.
Yeah, we've been working with the Department of Economic Development since 2010. Back in 2010 they asked for a feasibility study, an opportunity for the department to go out and speak to riders, to teams, to sponsors, to broadcasters and to potential venues around the world.
The thing is that there was not a thing wrong with the door I had on. It was a perfectly good wooden door with a cat flap in.
And that's a problem, there's no cat flap now?
No, and I can't put one on.
We now have something special here in this wonderful garden that the Douglas Borough Council are creating.
And of course, as I said at the beginning, an internment camp here, wasn't it?
For the internment camps.
Yeah.
So it's for everybody in that war that wants, needs some remembrance.
Obviously, if an insurance claim takes this long to settle, obviously the parties haven't been able to reach agreement. The details of that dispute I don't think we're going to go into, but suffice it to say we couldn't have a situation where this went on and on indefinitely.
preparing the quail's dock so that it could accept the boat when we took it out of the cellar in which it had been sitting for 200 years, and then finally preparing the whole thing for lifting today, and as you can see, it's all gone perfectly smoothly.
And she'll be going around the island at 10 different locations, really taking banking out into the community.
Since the first one was back in January, this is something which has now been happening over the last couple of weeks or so.
Well, we're drawing attention to the plight of women in Afghanistan who are in frontline jobs like medicine and the law, and particularly in politics, because they have a very hard time of it.
And this is part of a project which was begun 7 years ago, and the idea is for the children to come along and to get involved with planting deciduous trees, native to the Isle of Man, deciduous trees, in order to create a new woodland.
Well, the reasons why we're going is that we have a health service that clearly isn't the way forward.
This was a concept from, was my baby really, along with the clinical teams, to have a better facility for neonatal care on the Isle of Man.
Gone from a 10-cell facility which was built in the mid-70s to something which is now really state-of-the-art, and it's the first fully modular custody build in the British Isles, which is another exciting feature of what we've achieved.
I think it should be carried on as long as it can be, and you know, it's heritage of the Isle of Man, so you know, that's it.
Marina is drying up. If we don't take urgent action, there will be a significant impact, a significant economic impact on Peel as a result of effectively the loss of the marina.
I came past this site a week last Saturday. It was a green field and I saw the first digger move in. I wondered what was going on, but not until the Monday morning when a ratepayer rung me up and said, "What's happening at Portown?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Aren't you a German commissioner?" I said, "I am." He said, "Then tell me what's happening." And I didn't know.
We were sort of commissioned to build a sculpture at the Tower Refuge, so Sam was the kind of obvious one to use.
It's going to be mainly a restaurant, but there will be a bar in it, so you can come in and have a drink, based on a chicken type menu.
We're really keen to open here. We want to talk to the public first and kind of understand what they're thinking, kind of get their feedback.
It's going to be leisure and business.
Right.
So we're going to do the business in Peel and hopefully in Douglas.
As you can see, work's progressing in Granville Street and in Howard Street, which is the next street down which links the town centre to the promenade. There's a small section to still be completed in Strand Street and the beginning of Castle Street, and that'll be the end of this phase.
For people in the Isle of Man to get an idea of what is envisaged, would North Quay be the nearest we've got to that sort of area? Do you know that?
Yes, I mean that has some characteristics which are similar, as do many informal spaces where vehicles and people interact, whether it's a supermarket car park or a campsite.
What we're looking at doing is creating a low-speed environment.
So you're making a sort of suggestion that people can walk across it in places. Is that
yes,
fair way, but it's not actually going to be a pedestrian crossing as we know it?
Well, no, it's not a traditional pedestrian crossing, but it's what we would class as a courtesy crossing.
And yet when you feel that ultimately your job may go, or you may be transferred to a different employer on dumbed down and worse terms and conditions, clearly people are going to be, you know, really, really concerned about that.
The duly appointed returning officer for the constituency of Douglas South hereby declare that the total votes cast for each candidate were as follows: Buchholz, Kurt, 164. Burns, Amy, 273. Fitton, Keith Darrell, 502. Malarkey, William Mackay, 598.
Yeah! David John Ashford, 554 votes. Mary Booth, 223 votes. George Ralph Peake, 604 votes. Therefore, I declare that Mr. Peake has been elected as member of the
House of Keys for the constituency of congratulations.
Great effort, everybody pulled together and worked together to make it happen. I think part of it was we'd done a lot of research into the design and what we wanted, so we knew exactly the way we wanted it to be. And Darren had done a lot of research in museums all over the world to make sure we got the right size and shape and the right look in the building. And once we knew exactly what we wanted, we just got the team to work towards that as quickly as possible.
Yes, stone we already ordered. I tried to get visa here and I didn't get it, and that's make me down again. I'm not gonna do that project, and finally Ivor Atkinson decide send that stone to Bali and I'll be able to carve it.
It was meant to be, wasn't it?
Yes, yes, it's really, really good. You know, like I'm feeling that like people want me to do it. When people want you to do stuff, you know, like when people appreciate your work, it just like feel so good, you know, like.
It is the 1st of June, and yet we've just had the most amazing weather go through here. But just a couple of hours ago, the tent itself started to rip, and apparently just one little section went.
We're opening up our church and church hall for people to come and sleep in, to find warmth. There's a kitchen and a shower here so they can get washed, they can sleep overnight.
It is controversial as far as the general public are concerned, I suppose, but we had to see how it was going to go. The safety of the scouts, obviously, I can understand, and the race officials were obviously concerned with that, and that needs to be first and foremost.
Well, what I'm trying to do is split out the vote between the promenade, the horse tram track, and I also want to get a commitment from Douglas Corporation that they will run the horse trams for at least 20 years, and we need that commitment because, you know, if we're spending £3.5 to £4 million putting a horse tram track down, we need to know that the people who are running it are committed to that as well.
Not just that we wanted to keep it for posterity, to remind people how things used to be before mobile phones.
It all comes together. It seems like an awful lot of work to start off with, but it's because you do it all in advance. Hopefully then it all works out. That's the plan.